Hello everyone, and welcome to Battle of the Beast Transformation Takedown, Round 2, Episode number 16. So we're finally at Round 2 of this tournament, and so far, good start to the tournament, I'd say, really. We've had 15 battles for Round 1, some not very entertaining. I would say most of them were. Some threats for the tournament have been introduced, some over-the-top deaths have been done, and yeah, I would say that round one's been relatively effective or good, shown 15 beasts worthy of making it into round two, and now 7 more must go. So the matchups for round two, we have 15 beasts in round two, 7 battles, one-on-ones. So one beast is skipping round two, going straight to the quarterfinals. Not going to say which beast that is, and I'll reveal it at the end of this round. So in battle number, give me a minute, need to figure out numbers. Battle number 22, I believe. So I would say this, yeah. So not that long to go, just a week. But I'm going to be bulk recording these videos, as well as the rest of this tournament. So that's why background's similar, clothes may be the same. This will obviously be scattered throughout a few days, but I'm going to be bulk recording a ton of videos on this channel and also on my main channel, because I received some news regarding something which is relatively important to me, and that's going to make me unable to record videos for a while, and I will only be able to upload scattered, so it's not a great upload schedule. But anyway, that's just a heads up. So you're still going to get videos from me, just not as frequently, but that's why I'm trying to record as many videos as I can. But let's introduce the two beasts fighting out in the first battle of round two. Now, looking at this is probably, in my opinion, a good matchup, and I think it'll be a good first round matchup as well. So yeah, let's get into this. Representing Series 10, Master of the Beasts, the killer of Makoro the Blinding Stinger in round 1. We have Doomskull, the King of Fear, versus I Have a Barking Dog, bear with me. Sorry about that. And Doomskull's opponent is the only special left standing, the killer of Canis the Shadowhound in round 1, and also the beast that I may or may not have forgotten about. It is Kragos and Kildor, the two-headed demon. So yeah, interesting matchup, I'll say. Not the most interesting, that is at the end of this round. But I would say this is a mediocre matchup to really kick off round 2, and I think it's a good one. So let's get to the stats, learn more about these beasts, and then we can get into the fight. Doomskull, the King of Fear. Doomskull's most unnerving features are his eye sockets, which are completely empty. The beast invades the nightmares of all who are unfortunate enough to gaze upon him. He looks like a lion made of stone, but up close his victims can see his rippling muscles and saber-toothed fangs. Age 339, Power 222, Magic level 141, Fright Factor 83, Size 150. Powers and abilities: Fire Main, Natural Weaponry, and Nightmare Manipulation. Now, I should have mentioned this in the previous video with Doomskull in, but I forgot to. With the Nightmare Manipulation, I don't expect any beast to really fall asleep whilst battling. So what Doomskull can do instead is install fear on his opponents. So give them that lack of confidence, I guess. And weaknesses is a pierceable body. Kragos and Kildor, the two-headed demon. This two-headed beast can change and reform itself into different creatures. Its last appeared in the form of a ram and a stag. The two-headed demon desires the magical golden cup of life, a precious object which will protect anyone who drinks from it against death. Age 302, Power 282, Magic level 191, Fright Factor 91, Size 140. Powers and abilities for Kragos: natural weaponry, limited shapeshifting, enhanced durability, and fusionism. Kildor: natural weaponry, enhanced durability, enhanced strength, and fusionism. In the fused form, we have Splitting, Reincarnation, that's banned, natural weaponry, flame aura, and enhanced strength. Equipment in the fused form is sharp silver discs. And weaknesses: Kragos and Kildor separate are both have a fear of hunters as on horseback. And in the fused form, the weaknesses is horn entanglement. Okay, so with the stats department done for Doomskull, the King of Fear, and Kragos and Kildor, the two-headed demon, the battlefield, I want to see them fight in, I don't know. Let's go with a forest arena. That was the first arena I thought of, really thinking about that. So yeah, let's go with the forest arena. So as the chamber doors open, both beasts make their way out of the chamber, but instead of their true forms, Kragos and Kildor both come out in their ram and stag form and make their way into the forest, side by side, going around each tree, not running, just trotting. Meanwhile, on the other side of the arena, the Golden Knight comes out of the arena, hands behind his back, just looking up in the arena, seeing the forest as he makes his way into the forest and out of sight of the spectators and Danny the landlord. At the same time Kragos and Kildor do, the spectators just need to listen and try and see through the canopy of leaves what's happening. As this happens, I think both as the beasts or knight and animals meet eyes with each other, Kragos and Kildor immediately start charging up towards the Golden Knight. Kildor bowing down his head, ready to just batter him with his ram-like head, and Kildor, Kragos taking a step back, was just circling the Golden Knight. The Golden Knight immediately unfolds his arms and uses his fist, holding the dagger, but just his fist to batter Kildor away. As he's distracted by that, Kragos charges up behind Doomskull, in which he turns round, uppercuts the stag, and then comes back round to batter the ram who was coming back at him. As both beasts fall to the ground, they both exchange a glance with each other, both nod, and take a step, go back in the opposite direction to Doomskull, who is just stood in the centre between them, and watches as both of them charge up towards him. The Golden Knight realises that he won't be able to take care of both of them, in which he immediately dives forward into a tuck and roll as both Kragos and Kildor ram into each other, creating the demon himself. As the knight gets up, turns round, and faces the two-headed demon, he's immediately greeted by two silver discs being chucked straight towards him. He's able to deflect one with one dagger, whilst another one hits him on the arm. The knight roars in pain as the disc goes right through his armour. And for safety, now the Golden Knight drops the daggers and turns into Doomskull, roaring at Kragos and Kildor. Roaring so loudly, in fact, that the leaves shake on the tree, and the spectators see that. During that roar, though, Kragos and Kildor take a step back in concern, but not letting that faze them. They knock their heads together, trying to knock some sense into them, conjure up three discs in each hand, and chuck all six of them at the same time towards Doomskull. Doomskull jumps high enough to avoid all of them, and makes a dive straight towards Kragos and Kildor, who lifts up one of their arms to catch Doomskull, who bites right into them. Kragos and Kildor roar in anger, and using all their strength, is able to swing Doomskull off by bashing him into a tree, breaking the tree immediately, but Doomskull keeps biting into him. Lifting up another claw, slashes at the Kildor's head, Kildor roars in anger and decides, and they look at Kragos and Kildor look at each other, nod, and split into their separate forms and get away into the canopy of the forest. As Doomskull's grip on the arm disappears, and the stag and ram run into the darkness of the forest. Doomskull, frustrated by this, decides that he has only one thing to do. He gives one roar and then starts running around the arena, running into every tree he can, shattering it almost like it's a twig, knocking over each tree to just give more light into the arena, but also make the ground more unsteady. Kragos and Kildor are seeing this, and they decide that they need to fuse together, but also stay out of sight of Doomskull. So they run to an area, part of the arena that's already been destroyed, and collide into each other, creating the two-headed demon, and just duck below a bunch of fallen trees as Doomskull's clearing the arena. However, the flame aura that Kragos and Kildor emit sets fire to nearby trees, and Doomskull notices this and charges up straight towards where the fire came from, in which Kragos and Kildor come out of their hiding spots and charges up towards Doomskull, picking up a tree in the process and chucks it at Doomskull. Doomskull just runs right through it, roaring, growling in aggression, scratching his claws against the ground, which are sending sparks flying from the fire, going everywhere. It just setting the rest of the arena on fire. Doomskull lunges, jumping up right towards Kragos and Kildor, who lifts up both their arms to push Doomskull back, but Doomskull's whole body weight pushes Kragos and Kildor back against the center of the arena, against the wall of the arena. As the arena's burning around them, Kragos and Kildor is shocked that their flame aura is not even harming Doomskull at all. Doomskull goes to bite down onto Kragos' neck. Kragos roars in pain and uses his head to try and batter Doomskull away, but it doesn't seem to be working. Almost like Doomskull is not feeling the pain at all. Doomskull lifts up another claw and slashes at the demon's chest, causing 4 large gashes appear right across the chest, and blood starts pouring out. The beasts immediately split into their separate forms and run into the fire to hopefully have their scent disguised by all the smoke. Doomskull decides to have some fun with this, changes into his night form, and says one sentence: "Let the hunt begin." As the Golden Knight makes his way into the center of the arena, picking up his daggers that he discarded only earlier, he walks into the fire, completely unfazed by the internal heat that it's given off, is looking around, trying to find any signs of Kragos and Kildor. He thought he saw a glimpse of red from the stag, in which he immediately throws one of his daggers at where he saw it, but it turns out to be a tree which was caught ablaze. As the Golden Knight goes to retrieve it, he hears a twig snap, in which he throws the other dagger, turning around in the process, and the dagger flies and hits Kildor in the rear leg. Kildor roars in pain as the knight quickly retrieves the dagger from the tree, charges up towards the ram, and pins him down, retrieving the other dagger, and using one, just slices at the throat. Kildor gasps in pain, gasps from the slash that's just been inflicted on his neck. He's gasping for breath, trying to get up, trying to get away weakly, with pain in the leg, but also blood coming from his neck. He can't seem to block it because Hooves trying to get away all he can. The knight decides to let him wander away, and at that point he realizes that Kildor probably saw that. So he listens very carefully to any other surrounding sounds. Kragos, saw that, not Kildor. Kildor's the one that's injured. He listens very carefully for any sign of where Kragos might be, any sound that he might make. However, No sound was made, just the crackling of the wood against the fire. Kragos was able. Kragos didn't make an appearance at all. As the knight's looking around, trying to find any sign of Kragos, he loses sight of Kildor, who got away. But the knight thinks nothing of it, thinking, well, his neck is slashed. If he stays as a ram, he's going to die. If he is formed into his true form, already gashes on his chest and a bite mark on the deer's neck, stag's head should be fine. At that point, though, he hears a loud bang emerge, almost like a tree's just been slammed in half by the force of two fists. He turns round, daggers at the ready, and sees the two-headed demon looming over him. Unfazed by this, though, as the two-headed demon lifts up both his fists to bring it down onto the knight dives aside, having one of his arms out, slashes at the demon's leg, causing blood to start gushing out of there. The demon roars in anger and goes to slash down at the knight, who turns round, slashes at the demon's wrists before being knocked back by it. As the knight gets falling into the fire, he immediately turns into Doomskull and charges up towards this beast, who's trying to nurse his injury on his wrist. And by the time he notices that the Doomskull is coming up, he tries. It's too late. They go to take a step back and defend themselves, but Doomskull's having none of it. He slashes out the arm that was used to block their face, instantly breaking it with the force. And Doomskull bites down onto Kragos' head, the stag, onto the muzzle. This time, not having any sort of a loose grip at all, and just uses all of Doomskull's bite force and clamps his mouth shut, biting right through the muzzle, snapping the bone. Kildor roars in anger at this and goes to bite down on Doomskull, but not knowing what Doomskull is made of, Kildor bites down and instantly his teeth shatter from the impact, not knowing that Doomskull is made of stone. Doomskull releases his grip of Kildor, whose head goes limp. Kragos, whose head goes limp. And Kildor is taking a step back, just trying to cover in his mouth from the blood that's gushing out of there from breaking his teeth on it. And Doomskull just laughs and turns back into his knight form, not picking up the daggers, charges up towards the demon, wraps his arms around Kildor's body, and just snaps Kildor's neck as the two-headed demon collapses to the ground. The knight stands atop the body, satisfied with his defeat, and makes his way back to his chamber, picking up his daggers along the way as the arena continues to burn. So that Doomskull has won, Kragos and Kildor has lost. If you think Kragos and Kildor should have won, please in the comments below what you think of that. Have my words final, and Doomskull's moving on to the quarterfinals. Yeah, I know Doomskull is a pierceable body, but the thing is, though, it's with enough force, and I don't think a ram's bite force can even injure Doomskull. They were able to injure the knight form, but once Kragos and Kildor was apprehended, I don't see a way in which how they could actually beat Doomskull. So yeah, I gave Doomskull the victory. It's obvious that the beast here will be immune to fire, just like Kragos and Kildor are. So it's pretty much just a case of burning down the arena. So I feel like this was quite a good battle to start off the round, because it was an interesting matchup between two fiery beasts. But then you also have Doomskull almost like enjoying this, like saying, let the hunt begin, in his night form, hunting for Kildor and Kragos, which I thought was a nice touch, I would say. So this fight kind of shown some, not really mercilessness, but almost a sense of glee that this beast and the Series 10 beasts have when it comes to fighting in their knight forms as well as their beast forms. They seem to be a bit confident of themselves. You know, there's 5 of them in round 2. Out of the top 15, there's 5 of them from this round. How many of them is going to make it through to the quarterfinals? Well, only time will tell. And with that, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you with the next battle of round 2, which is probably the most boring matchup, honestly. But I think it can be a good battle because there's potential involved in this one. Till then, peace out.